What's up? I'm back. I want to introduce a concept that I've been working on for a while called Aumism. Om, like the Hindu Om. And really, it comes down to the fact that I've been a big fan of sci fi. I've had a lot of material I want to put out myself. It's Sci-fi is interesting because it's so intertwined into spirituality that sometimes, and even into science at times too. And sometimes I feel that when you deal with sci-fi, it's sometimes you get a bad rap if you're dealing with the general population. They might call you a nerd, and they might call you maybe usually people who are socially awkward is usually into sci-fi. Sci-fi has a lot of different uses, but one use sci-fi used to have was in the occult world. When you took an oath, you couldn't really tell the secrets, right, to the public. You couldn't really tell the secrets overtly, but you could do it through sci-fi. So, a lot of people in the public tend to be into decoding movies and stuff like that. And a lot of times, the reason why was because some movies or books, or other types of, Venetian tools would have like music, would have codes. That if the person spoke the language, they'll be able to understand what it is because the code is a language basically. So, in general, and usually the occult in the occult world, sci-fi was under the planetary energies of Venus. Usually coming from the imagination. In the occult world, though, Venus is imagination, but Neptune is considered the higher octave of Venus. So, in a sense, what that really meant was like Neptune was kind of like Venus on steroids to some extent. And the one flaw I've seen in sci-fi in general is that for most science fiction, things, they don't really science fiction is supposed to, or sci-fi or Venus in general is a weapon. You're supposed to be able to recreate your world using the faculty of Venus. The Egyptians would call it heteru. When you recreate your world, in a sense, the mental plane actually gets grounded through a healthy imagination, and then you bring it to the physical. I think sci-fi tries, but they've kind of gotten away from that, where people get into sci-fi now, movies and comics, to escape the world. So I think the reason why they end up being socially awkward or not being able to relate to certain people is because our current science fiction is an escape. And while that's good, that's not the highest level. Our current science fiction is supposed to be able to give the person motivations and tools to be able to recreate their world. It's supposed to give them possibilities that are very plausible. And when they look at it, they see that it's possible to do that. They're supposed to be able to go and to become inspired to go do it themselves. That's what it's supposed to be. So when I started this, I looked at it as Venus is cool before you get to Neptune, because Venus is the lower form of Neptune energy. You got to go to Venus first. But Neptune is what I'm shooting for. And the reason why, it's because, in a sense, when you do the Neptune, it's kind of like when you merge Venus and Mercury together. You get a higher form. You come transform. Mercury transforms your personality. So when Mercury transforms your personality and you're using Venetian energy, it transforms it into Neptune. Now, usually when you go to Neptune too quickly, it doesn't work out for you. So, in a sense, so many things in the world are connected to each other. So that's why when you look up in the modern astrology, they'll say Neptune's associated with drugs. The reason why they say that is because Neptune would change your body chemistry, blood chemistry, brain chemistry, and you would see certain things. So when you do it quickly. So when you see certain things, you do it quickly. It rushes you there. It's almost like it's almost like going to some place and somebody taking it to you and just saying, "Here, find your way out of this stuff." But when you use Neptune to merge it with Venetian energy, when you use Venus and merge it with mercurial energy, which energy of Mercury, you fuse the two together, it puts you to a higher octave, and the higher octave will be Neptune in a more subtle way instead of bringing Neptune to you quickly, which is much different. So when I started to do this, I started to try. My attempt was to try to do it from a Neptunian angle, which is a difference. It still encompasses Venus, which is the imagination, but Mercury's more logic, more science, and trying to give into more grounded possibilities. Because in the end of the day, Neptune also is like love, literally in the occult. And when he says like love, it's like love for all species. And in a sense, it's like a force that helps you see the connection all species have to each other. So in a sense, when I start this or when I'm starting it, it's gonna be science fiction, and sometimes we're gonna go in space, but it's gonna still, for the most part, come from a grounded level where the person starts to understand their connection to the environment, and that's what my goal was to do it. And in this channel, I'm gonna still talk about even science fiction that I'm not creating, like the movies, comics. Those are my loves, and they're related, so I'm gonna talk about them. But I'm gonna talk about them from, I think, a more unique angle. But also on the channel, I'm going to present books. I'm going to have books that people are going to be able to buy. But on the channel, I might also have short stories related to the books. So when I have short stories related to books, when you read the book, it may be somewhere they reference something, right? An event that took place, but you wouldn't see in the book, but it may be in the channel here. And there can be other artists under the banner, and they're going to present their material too. And when they have a book, I'm going to present in the channel. And it's going to be something where we're trying to merge science fiction, sci-fi, and the occult into one. So welcome to Aumism, and you're going to see a lot of stuff, and we definitely appreciate your support. Until next time, peace.